Hello, my name is Bhaskar. I represent 4GMAT. This question is a problem solving question. It's a question based on polynomials and looks at concepts which are related to number properties, primarily odd numbers and even numbers, right? Let's have a look at the question. The question reads as follows. If x is a positive integer such that x minus 1 into x minus 3 into x minus 5 all the way up to x minus 93 is less than 0, then how many values can x take? So this is what we need to find out. Our final answer is going to say that x can take so many different values. The answer choices are all finite numbers. So what we have is 47, 23. So there is a finite number of values that x can take. That's something which is given from the question stem and the answer choices. Let's quickly dive into how to go about this question. Right. I would want to walk you through this question looking at it in a step-by-step fashion. Let's start narrowing down the range of values, right? Based on what is given in the question stem, whatever values we can eliminate at each stage, let us eliminate and shortlist values and then finally arrive at that one single number which is given in which matches one of the answer choices, right? Here we go. Let's look at what do we know about the kind of number that x is, right? X, according to the question stem, is a positive integer. So essentially, this gives us one hell of a lot of selectivity to the range of values that we can take. We need not worry about numbers like 3.4. It's not negative, it's not 0, right? So we have to restrict ourselves only to positive integers, which is a very good thing, right? Now, the second step, which is what is going to help us come up with something more meaningful. Let's quickly examine and find out what all values of x within this positive integer set can we eliminate that x cannot take. Let's have a look at it. Let's see, we want the final value, x minus 1 into x minus 3 into x minus 5 all the way up to x minus 93 to be negative. Let me plug in some number randomly and see whether that would defy this logic. Let me pick a number like, let's say 100. If I plug in something like 100, 100 minus 1 is positive, 100 minus 3 is positive. Every number up to x minus 93 will all be positive. Product of so many positive numbers will definitely be a positive number, which essentially means that x taking a value, something like 100, does not meet the criteria, right? Beyond what numbers will it definitely be a positive number? Beyond anything starting from 94 onwards will make all of these terms to be positive numbers, which means the final product is going to be a positive number. So anything 94 and above, we need not worry about. So we have essentially narrowed down the set of numbers to numbers from 1 to 93, positive integers from 1 to 93 is all that we need to bother about, right? That gives us some more room to play with. We'll look at how to fine tune this range even better, right? Let's narrow it down further. Let's check out what happens when x is odd. If x is odd, let's take x takes values like 1, 3, 5. Any of these numbers it takes up to 93, we'll find that x minus 1, if x is equal to 1, x minus 1 is going to become 0, which means the entire product is going to become 0. When x is equal to 3, the same thing is going to happen because x minus 3 is going to become 0 when x is equal to 3. So if I pick any odd value between 1 and 93 inclusive, I'll find that the product is going to be 0, whereas we want the product to be negative. So those values can definitely be eliminated. So what are we down to? Our range is narrowed down even better. We essentially will have to look at even numbers from 2, starting from 2 all the way up to 92 and figure out how many of these numbers meet the criteria that the final product is going to be equal to a negative number, right? What if x is equal to even? X is even, none of these terms will be 0. That is a given because if I take x is equal to 2, 2 minus 1 is positive, 2 minus 3 is a number, 2 minus 5 is a number, none of this is 0. So definitely we might have a value which is either positive or negative. Let's look at what happens for even number values. We will definitely have a non-zero answer. Whether that non-zero answer is positive or negative is what we need to figure out, right? How do we take it further? The next step, obvious step, is to basically plug in some values. Let's see what happens. We start with x is equal to 2. When x is equal to 2, x minus 1 is going to be positive. I'll write the number of terms that are going to be positive, right? X minus 1 is going to be positive. And how many values do we have beyond x minus 1, which all could be negative? Starting from x minus 3, x minus 5, x minus 7, all the way up to x minus 93, all these numbers are going to be negative. Right? To start with, how many such numbers do we have? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Going all the way up to 93. 92 is 46 into 2. So essentially, this is 47 numbers will be there, of which x minus 1 is positive and the remaining 46 numbers will be negative numbers. Product of two even negative numbers will essentially be positive. Product of three negative numbers will be negative. So even number of negative numbers, the product is going to be positive. So this result, when x is equal to 2, will end up with the final value being positive because x minus 1 is positive. 46 negative numbers will give you a value which is positive. So x is equal to 2 is not